Welcome to this week's episode of Local Threads. This week I am talking to Thomas Drury-Wang. He is the president of the Audeville Society, which is a nonprofit that provides local performers grant money in order to get their projects started. The Audeville Society is also having a Revelry Ball fundraiser, which is a nightclub themed fundraiser that allows you to go have a good time, get dressed up, and also do so in the name of performance. And we're going to tell you all about it. Because who doesn't need another reason to wear a costume or get dressed up? We are all too often not doing that. And why not do it surrounded by an amazing performance and cause? Let's get into it. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So what can you tell me, for those that don't know, about the Audeville Society?
Yeah, so Audeville Society is an organization we started a little over a year ago. The main premise was just there's a lot of people out there who have really great ideas about art and performance, but they don't have the capital to do it, right? So it's like, I have this great idea. Wouldn't it be fun if we did this kind of event? And you're like, yeah, that would be great, but it's going to cost $5,000.
Yeah.
And we don't have $5,000, so I guess we're just never going to do it, right? So by starting a group where a lot of nonprofits and community grants go to bigger organizations, like it's really easy, maybe not easy, but it's easier for big theaters in Boston to get grants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not now. Grants are kind of
Yeah.
under attack. But generally speaking, it's still easier for them, right? Even if it's not easy. So they just say like, oh, well, we have a $1 million a year budget. We need, $20,000 to run this next event. Let's just apply for a grant. And they have all the credentials to do so. So they just do.
Yeah.
If you're a person, just a single solitary person, and maybe you don't have a ton of experience producing events, right? Maybe you're an actor who's been acting for 10 years and now you want to try to produce your own event, right? Or you're a drag artist or a burlesque artist who just sort of has been working independently, but you want to do your own thing. It's going to be really hard for you to get a grant with that, where you say like, I've never done this before, but I really want to, and I think I'd be really good at it. There's a lot of grant companies that are just going to say like, no, you're not worth the risk. We need to see what you can do first. So come back to us when you have a portfolio, right? We're much more lenient in terms of your portfolio. As long as you can prove to us that you have an idea and that your idea is good and that it's beneficial to the community or to you or to any, beneficial in some way, then we'll say, okay, we'll give you a grant. And our grants tend to be smaller because we're giving to individuals who are running smaller events, right? So whereas a big company might not want to give out a $50,000 grant to someone who's unknown, we'll give a $3,000 grant to someone who's unknown if that helps them to build an event.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep using the word event, but any kind of performance, right? Even if it's a one-time thing, even if it's just like a solo show. And then that adds to their portfolio. So the next time they need a grant, whether it's from us or from someone else, they have something they can pull up and say, look what we did, right? We have this here. So that was the main idea of it.
That's really nice. It's like taking away like that pressure to follow into this predetermined path for a performer.
Yeah.
That's very hard to get into in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And really opens it up to allow really cool things to happen because people have great ideas.
Right. That's the point.
Yeah.
Like everyone has ideas, right?
Yeah.
Every performer out there has that dream show they want to do where they're like, wouldn't it be so much fun if we just did this? But they can't, right? Because who can, right? Who can just randomly do an event?
Yeah.
Like, no one. No one has that kind of money just floating around being like, wouldn't it be cool if we did an event and it cost $5,000? Yeah, that would be cool, but I have to pay my rent.
Yeah.
So it's like, where do they get this money?
Yeah.
Hopefully from us.
And you said you started a year ago.
Yeah. August.
What was that spark that started it?
So we are doing our big fundraising ball in February. Oddly enough, it was reversed.
So you started the ball before you started the
Yeah,
society.
yeah, sort of. We started them at the same time,
Okay.
right? So here was sort of the timeline of events. I had the idea for this ball a decade ago, and I was like, I really want to do this ball. Wouldn't it be great? But I was one of those people who was like, wouldn't it be great if we threw a ball?
Yeah.
But I didn't have the money to do that.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the experience to do it. I didn't have any of the resources to do it. So I was like, yeah, that would be cool. Anyway, I have to go to work now.
Yeah.
Right. And so like it just sort of sits in the back of your head over and over and over again. Finally, a decade, and I mean it's more than a decade. It's like 13 years later. I was like, you know what? I'm not getting any younger. I need to figure out how to do this. So I figured out how to do the ball. And as I started to plan it, I thought, like, originally we were like, okay, well, we're going to need to start some sort of business to run the ball, right? Because you're selling tickets and you're raising money. That money has to go somewhere. The government's going to want to know where it is.
Yeah.
So, like, for tax reasons and all that. So I reached out to an accountant and I was like, hey, what do we do? And they said, well, you can start an LLC, like a private company, just to run this event, like an events company. Great. So that was the original plan, was just to make a company, throw a ball every year, have fun. Partway through, one of our friends was like, so what are you guys raising money for? And I was like, oh, it's not that kind of event. It's just like, we didn't want to add a charity component to it because we were already kind of thinking like, oh, it's going to be tough to run a ball. How are we also going to run a charity component to it? And so, but then we just kept having people ask like, oh, what's it for? What's it for? What's it for? Because a lot of times these balls are charity events,
Yeah.
right? And so eventually we were like, I feel like we just have to make it a charity.
Yeah. The universe was like, you're going to have a nonprofit.
You're gonna do this. So at first we thought about reaching out to nonprofits that already existed and saying, hey, we're going to run a ball. Do you want to be the beneficiary? But we couldn't really find anyone that we felt that kind of vibe with.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all went like the little like lightning in a bottle struck, and I was like, oh, I know. 13 years ago, I wanted to run a ball, but I couldn't. And I thought I had such a cool, great idea, but I had no way of doing it. What if that's the whole point? What if we run this ball, all the money that we raise for it goes into a fund, and we give it to performers to do whatever they want to do with it? And so that was how the nonprofit came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I reached out to a lawyer and I said, hey, this is our idea. How do we do it? They were super helpful. They're like, here's your paperwork. Have a meeting with us. We'll figure out what you're doing. We did that. Filled out our paperwork. A couple months later, we applied for our nonprofit status. And what month is it now? September. 2 months ago, we got our nonprofit status official from the government.
Nice.
And now we're a nonprofit. And so it was really, the ball was the first step. And then we thought, if we can make a ball, because we're fortunate enough now to have the kind of resource and money and experience that we need, why don't we help other people?
Yeah, it's really the perfect storm when you create something you wish you had.
Yeah.
When you have the opportunity, or I guess the time, or
it's all of it. It's the resources, it's the time, it's the opportunity.
Yeah.
I didn't have any of those
Yeah.
when I first had this idea. And I know so many people don't have the resources, the time, the energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it became like I don't want to say paying it back necessarily, because I don't necessarily think anyone paid me, so I'm not paying it back. But it's that kind of idea, right? Of
Yeah.
like, I couldn't do it back then. I can do it now. I remember what it was like to not be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't it be cool if we could help people do it?
So what's your background? Like, are you an artist?
I have a mixed background. A lot of my performing and art stuff was never professional. I've never professionally been any kind of performer, right? I did like this classic, high school theater kid kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and that was like music, that was dance, that was acting and singing. And then when I originally went to college to be a music teacher, and I realized that I hated it because everyone was mean and snobby, and like everyone was competing because it was an art, right? It's music.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the best performer? And I'm like, I don't need to be the best performer. I'm just trying to do my thing.
Yeah.
But everyone else was. And it just got like too
I
much.
hear that a lot. I'm so glad
I
I
just-
didn't go to art school
I
because I
know.
would probably not. I have thin skin.
Yeah, and it was partly the thin skin part, which is true. Like it was definitely like a little bit of a kick in the face to be like the best music performer in your high school, and then you go to college where everyone's in your
Mhm.
major, so they're all like way better than you are, and you're like, oh,
Or at least
I'm
if
not that
they,
great.
it definitely feels like it, even if they
Well,
might not
right.
be.
Yeah,
You
there's
know?
definitely some like imposter syndrome and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, these people are so much better than I am. They're so cool. So yeah, and then you get there, and then they all also kind of act like they are better than you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. Like I made some friends, but there was a lot of like snickering and gossiping and like, oh,
Yeah.
can you believe so and so? Why are they here? They're not that good. And you're like,
Yeah.
just let people be people. Like, I don't know. It got too much. I was also a little bit burnt out from high school. I think for a lot of people that transition straight into college is not a good one because it's just, you're so sick of school. You don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that too. So I left college, did the classic like work retail now. I did that for like 15 years. I hated it. It drained my soul because
Yeah.
there was nothing. I think that like at my core, as corny as it's going to sound, like I am kind of like an artist. Like
Yeah.
I like to create things, and, like do things and like be fun and creative with people. So retail doesn't really allow for a lot of that.
No.
And people are, again, just mean. Customers are really mean.
Yeah.
Managers are usually really mean. So after like 15 years, I was like, I need to get out of this. So I went back to college, this time for communication, because I figured it's such a broad scope of a major. It's not super specific. You can do a lot of different things with it. And so I did that. I graduated with my degree. COVID hit. So I was like, well, I can't really find a job right now because no one's hiring. So I just sort of hung around for a while, lived off my savings, just kind of tried to figure out what to do with my life. And then from that, I kind of started to veer into this again, where it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. What do I want to do with my life? Because at that point, it was more about what do I want to do? Because I'd spent so many years doing
What
I
you had to do.
I had to do,
Yeah.
either for money or for, social reasons. Like, oh, well, you finished high school, now you have to go to college. It's like, well, what if I don't want to? It doesn't matter. That's
Yeah.
what you do, right?
Yeah.
And then you leave college, like, well, you have to get a job. It doesn't matter how much it sucks. It doesn't matter how little the pay is. You have to have a job because you have to pay your rent. So it's finally in a place where I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what do I want to do? And I had done some performance, like just really the basic, like amateur kind of stuff. Like someone's doing a little variety show. Do you want to like do a number? Great. Like that sounds fun. So like I've always tried to get back on stage. I've hosted a few variety show kind of events before, so I have like some MC credits,
Mm-hmm.
very loosely. And that was sort of my history. I feel like now I'm more into like producer mode, where I don't necessarily need to perform. I at the ball last year I was the host, right? But I don't even need to do that. If we find someone who wants to host and we find like a good host in the future,
Yeah.
that's fine too. Great.
That'd be scary for me.
It is scary. There are definitely some like horror stories from last year where it's like because it was our first year,
Yeah.
it gets bumpy. And like I went on stage at one point because someone told me that it was time for me to give a speech and introduce the band, but the band wasn't scheduled to go on for another 10 minutes.
Oh no.
So I started to do my little speech, and I was like, oh, I guess they're not ready. I'll vamp a little and I'll like talk to the crowd, and I'm doing some like real shoddy crowd work because that's not my forte. But I was like, so where's everyone from? That kind of stuff. And then it just keeps going, and I'm like, I'll be right back.
10 minutes is a really long time.
I didn't even make it to 10 minutes. I probably made it 2. And I was like, all right, I'll be right back, folks. Give me a sec. So I like walk off stage, and the stage manager guy's there, and he looks at his watch and he's like, yeah, they're not supposed to be on for another 8 minutes. And I was like, oh, someone told me to introduce them now. Okay. And then I had to like slink back on stage.
Yeah.
And be
Oh
like,
no.
hey guys, sorry. The DJ's gonna play music for another 8 minutes, and then the band will be out. Sorry, bye.
Yeah,
So
that's a good call.
you just gotta roll with the punches at that
Yeah.
point. But yeah, so I've been producing, and that's really been fun for me because I love organizing.
Yeah, bringing
love-
people together. You're
and like
the curator.
with communication, like I'm basically like, okay, I need to send out a call for volunteers, right?
Mhm.
And we need to send out a call for performers. And then once that's done, we'll get all the applications. Like we got performer applications like boom, instantly,
That's good.
which was great. We had a lot
Yeah.
of good word of mouth from last year.
How fun it is too to go through that.
Yeah.
But then if you have too many, then you have to not.
I know.
That's the worst
I had to
part.
tell people no.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
It's really the worst part.
Yeah.
Like I cut the application off after a couple days. It probably should have been, for fairness sake, like up for like a week at least. Next year I'll do something where I'm like, this is the deadline. We didn't do that this year. We were just like, here's the application, fill it out if you want. So after a couple days, we had so many applications, I just stopped it. I was like, okay, nope, we're done. Because we can only do, we're gonna have a dozen performers, which is already like so many. And then we're also gonna have like ambient performers who are just around the venue doing stuff. Like they're not on stage necessarily.
Yeah.
So I think we have 6 of those. So we have 18 people. And I still had to turn down like 10.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I just felt so bad though.
yeah.
That's my least favorite
I
part.
guess you're going to have 2 balls a year.
I know. Well, we started a new thing too, which is like we have a newsletter now, like a performer specific newsletter. So if you ever want to perform at a ball, give us your email. And like in the future, as soon as the application goes up, we'll send you an email. I'm saying
nice.
the application's up, apply. All of our performers are also local. Like that's a very important thing for us. To us, local is New England because that's sort of the region that we serve. So as long as you're a New Englander, you can perform at our event. But we're not hiring out from anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's really important to us. We're very like community based. We also like our grants are very specifically New England only. It's not a hard and fast rule, but we're not going to hire the same people every year to perform.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you didn't get in this year, apply next year.
Right.
And we're trying to also. We had someone who applied last year who couldn't make it, but they applied again this year, and we're like, well, they applied. This is their second year, so we'll take them, right?
Yeah.
So in the interest of trying to get exposure to as many people as possible, we want to hire. It's the same with the grants, right? We're not going to give grants necessarily to the same people every year.
Right.
We want to give grants to new people who have new, fresh ideas.
Right.
And then so that we can get as many people sort of through the system as possible.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I have notes here.
Sure.
I'm not like reading text. Can you share a moment that where you felt this is exactly why we're doing this?
Good question. Our first grant that we ever gave out, we gave out last year to this drag queen called Delta Miles. She's based in Provincetown. She's from Boston. She has a show called Diva in Provincetown that they do every summer, which is her, Kaya Crystal, and Roxy Pops, 3 drag queens. They do live singing cabaret, and they do it throughout the summer. So that was our first grant. When we gave them the money, they already had a show ready to go, but they wanted to polish it, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to really up the stakes of it because at the moment it was just them doing, the singing was already there, right? The talent, the humor, that was already there. The message of the show was already there. They had the show. They needed matching costumes, right? They needed some new wigs. They needed to pay the venue. Because that was the first one, it was really fun for me to watch sort of what the grants actually do.
Yeah.
Right. So we gave them money, and Delta is very open and transparent about what she's doing with everything. And like she really wanted to make sure that I felt like I was involved, or we as a group were involved in the process because she's like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like without this grant, the show would still go on and it'd be good, but it wouldn't be the vision that she had in her head.
Yeah.
Which was this grand production. And so to be able to watch her build the production with our help was really special and fun. And it made us feel like we were really part of the production. Like, we had nothing to do with it. All credit goes to her and like the other queens.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun to feel like we had something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, drag is so much work.
Yeah.
The clothing, the shoes.
It's expensive.
Yeah, the hair.
The hair. So expensive.
Oh,
And so, yeah, and then so that was the first one. And then the second one that we did, we gave out 4 grants this year, but the first one that actually happened was the Worcester Draglesque Festival, which was put on by Joey March and Lady LaRouge up in Worcester. This was the first year they did it. And so it was sort of a similar process. You know, they were super excited to work with us. We were excited to work with them. After we gave them the grant, they were very transparent about where our money specifically was going. And like part of our grant went to paying their performers, right? Because a lot of festivals and balls and stuff, they ask for volunteer
right.
performers, which if you're a small organization, I get, right? Especially if you're like a nonprofit or if it's for charity, because the money's supposed to be going to charity.
Right.
But I think performers should be paid well.
Yeah.
For their time, right? And for their service. And luckily, Lady LaRouge, who was my point of contact with them, she agrees. She thinks performers should be paid. So even though she probably could have said, who wants to volunteer, she didn't. She paid all the performers. She paid them whatever rate they asked for. And that was part of where our money went, was to paying the performers so that they could perform for this event. We also were able to give them a block of tickets to give away for free, because another big part of our mission is to make sure that art is accessible to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So we gave them, I think, 4 pairs of tickets. So they just had a community post on Instagram and they said, hey, we got 4 tickets from Audeville. If y'all want them, DM us and we'll give you tickets. And like,
That's awesome.
that was great. And so like we had someone sort of, you know, karmically do the same thing for us for the ball this year. We had someone who gave us $1,000, and they were like, I'd love if this could be put into the grants account or the grants fund. And I said, sure, but I have a wacky idea, because the money for the tickets goes into the grants fund anyway. If you buy tickets with this $1,000, that money will go into the grants fund, but we'll also have all these tickets and we can give those away.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, oh, that's a fantastic idea. So we did the same thing. We had 5 pairs of tickets, I think, and we just gave them away to people who sent us a message. You know.
That's awesome. You brought up a good point too about accessibility.
Yeah.
And really the whole point of my podcast is, one, to get people to realize there's so much going on in New England.
Yeah.
But also not everything has to be an arm and a leg. It's just the biggest hurdle right now, I believe, other than money. All right, money's always a problem.
Always a problem.
But the biggest hurdle right now is getting off the couch.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the problem. Like everybody, it's not convenient enough. Like you can give all the instructions, all of that.
Yep.
People just have to want to get out again. And I feel like
agree.
people are doing that.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
it's slow.
It's slow. Yeah, we were nervous too doing this ball because it's a dress up ball.
Yeah.
So you have to dress up. Sorry. You
Yeah.
can't show up in jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I wish you
I
could.
think people are craving that though.
They are, and but initially that was the worry.
Yeah.
Right? Is
Which
who's
is
going
fair.
to want to dress up? If I
Yeah.
want to go out dancing with my friends, I'll just go to the local club and like wear whatever I want. I'll look cute. I'll dance. The end.
Yeah.
It'll be maybe like a $10 cover at most. That's my night out, right? Meanwhile, we're like, oh, by the way, our tickets are like $80 or whatever. And you have to dress up. You can't show up looking like a schlub.
Yeah.
You gotta, and like, we're not super strict about the dress code. It's very much like, just put in some effort. But that was our worry initially, was like, are people going to want to dress up? It's a big ask, right? And then we threw the ball, and the costumes were amazing.
Yeah.
And everyone looked great. And not a single person showed up underdressed, which was another fear of like, are we actually going to kick them out if someone does show up in jeans and a t-shirt?
Yeah.
Because they gave us like $100.
Yeah.
So we're just going to be like, oh, sorry, bye. No, probably not. We'd probably still have them in. But no one did. Like everyone came dressed up. They looked great. And I think and a lot of people, on Instagram afterwards who maybe didn't know the ball was happening or couldn't make it or whatever, we showed like the videos and the photos from the event. Everyone's like, oh my God, this looks like so much fun. I super want to go next year. This looks great. I can't wait. And like we've talked to people who, like, as soon as we announced the theme this year, were like, oh, I have so many great ideas for a costume that I would wear to that. So while we were definitely afraid that people weren't going to want to like participate in the ball the way that we had set up, we found like kind of the opposite. Everyone's been like super cool and super into it.
Yeah. Speaking of the theme, what is the theme this year?
Our theme this year is Emerald City. Obviously, we're trying to ride the coattails of Wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked's popular. Great. We'll take that. The theme is generally like, it can be anything from, I want to dress up like I'm a resident in the Emerald City, like I'm dressed head to toe in bright green and gold. It's wacky. It's Oz. It's fun. All the way down to like, I'm wearing a green shirt, and that's enough. That's fine.
Or you could paint your whole body green.
You could paint your whole body green.
It's up to you.
You should still wear something over it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the theme. We didn't do a theme last year. Well, we did, but it was like a very loose theme, which was just like nature. Because again, I was so nervous that people weren't going to want to dress up.
Yeah.
That I didn't want to also then impose this like stricter dress code of like, also you have to be on theme.
Yeah.
So we're like, if you need inspiration, nature, right? Wear a flower crown, wear a dress with butterflies on it. Super easy. But people really loved it. And we sent out a survey after the ball last year. And one of the questions was like, I think it was like, how did you feel about like the theming of the event or something like that? And we got so many replies that were like, a straighter, more like specific theme would be really appreciated because it'll help me to figure out what I'm going to wear.
Yeah.
So like, all right.
So do you plan on it always being a costume event?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, totally.
There needs to be more of them.
There need to be more costume events because there are a lot of costume events around the country, right?
Yeah.
Boston doesn't really have one. That's sort of what we're hoping to become. There are some, right? But I feel like they're also not the same kind of vibe that we are trying to offer, which is there's a lot of like Halloween costume balls, obviously. And then there's a lot that are themed around sort of like cabaret events where it's like the dressing up is more of just like wear a suit and like a flapper dress kind of thing, which are also super fun, right? Our event, we're trying to make it more artsy in a way, as silly as that might sound, and also like more queer, obviously, where it's like we want people to show up being as creative as they possibly can. If you want to show up just wearing a cute green dress, that's fantastic. If you want to go way over the top, paint your body green, make a giant feather headdress, there's not a lot of ways I feel for people to really like artsy fartsy express themselves. And I think that's really important. And that's really fun for people.
I feel like people are starting to get more into that now as adults, like all those missed opportunities to wear costumes. Even as an adult, like I just didn't have friends that wanted to do that at all.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Not interested.
And I do agree with you that I think people are becoming more interested in it. And not just more interested in like, because I think the idea of balls and like costume balls is really ramping up.
Yeah.
Recently. Like I would say over like the last 5 or 6 years. These sort of costume dress up balls. And like there are different kinds. Obviously there's like Halloween costume, which isn't really what we're doing because for a Halloween costume ball you can come dressed as like we would say like a bottle of ketchup, right?
Yeah.
That's not really in theme
with
our ball. Our ball is more like fancy dress up, right? Where you're wearing like pretty dresses and stuff. And then there's like the historical balls where you have to look like you have to know what you're doing. Right?
Yeah.
And you have to dress in 1800s.
Like the one in France.
at Versailles.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's amazing.
That looks fun.
That looks so much fun.
Yeah.
So like we're hoping to sort of strike a balance there.
Yeah, yeah.
Where
it's perfect.
You can dress up, but you don't have to look like Marie Antoinette.
Yeah.
But you could.
Much. Yeah, that's true.
It's too much. So, but I found that there are a lot of those around the country, and it's really great.
Yeah.
Which is really fun. And then like I think the popularity of things like Ren fairs Like I think rent fairs are getting more popular than they were before.
Yes.
And LARPing, LARPing is
Yes.
like I think LARPing is getting more popular than it ever was.
There's so many subgenres of LARPing. I had no
Oh, yeah.
idea. And one thing about me is if there's a subculture, I want to know everything about it. It might not be for me,
Right.
but I want to get in there and I
You
want to
want to
know.
learn. You're a learner.
Like there's this post-APOC one in Maine.
Oh yeah.
Like you can't eat. I would be
That sounds a bit extreme for me.
No, for
I gotta
sure.
eat.
Me too. But could you imagine? I would be in the back with my chips, like trying to open
Yeah.
them all quiet. Yeah, and then I'd get kicked out or whatever. But still, I'd want to break through that like culture and see how it works.
I love the aesthetic of post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to live it.
No, definitely not.
No. Yeah.
Have this picture of LARPing in my head. It was some movie. I don't know what it was. They were all out in the park during the day.
Okay.
So that's just, I just assume people just do it during the day, but apparently
There's both. There you can do a daytime LARP, which is just like during the day.
Yeah.
There are definitely like weekend LARPs where you go there on Friday night and you're there till Sunday afternoon, and you camp. You bring a tent or you sleep in your car or whatever.
And you're in character the whole time.
Character the whole time.
Sick.
Yep. Yeah. And
I'd be so bad at it, but I think it'd be fun.
There's like every different flavor of LARP for every different type of person. So there are definitely the LARPs where it's like you show up and you are just you're your character the whole time. Period. And they're very strict about that. Then there's the ones where they're a little more loosey-goosey.
Yeah, they have a time.
You break character every now and then, no one's going to say anything.
Yeah.
Maybe at night, like during dinner,
Yeah.
you're not in character or whatever.
My dream is to have like go to a place, and this all just to tie back into like we all appreciate art, we all appreciate play.
Yeah.
You don't have there's no age limit
No.
to be able to tap into that. And I think that's why these things are becoming more popular or more not maybe they're always been popular, but more mainstream and accepted, which is so stupid. We should accept everything, but
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree with
within
that,
reason.
Yeah.
It's not like a like murder camp or some bullshit, but like,
No, I mean, as long as everyone consents,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do agree that I do think they're getting more popular. They're definitely getting more mainstream, and they're definitely getting more, I think, more just known.
Yeah.
I think they're more popular in the sense that once people find out that they exist,
Yeah.
they think, oh, that sounds cool, right? Or that sounds fun. And that even ties back into like when we were setting up our organization, we had to meet with lawyers, which was not fun, but like, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And one of the questions that they asked, they were like, the government needs to know specifically what you're doing. Like they're going to ask you questions about what this nonprofit's for, what's your goal, what's your aim, who are you serving? And one of the questions the lawyer asked was, what is performance? Because the government's going to want to know.
Yeah.
You're giving grants to performers. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, damn. Like, what a heavy question that we were not expecting to answer. We really had to define, like, what is performance? What does it look like? What does it mean? I think the definition we finally came up with was anything where you are performing in front of an audience. Like, I think that literally, like that was our definition. Like,
Yeah.
Are you performing in front of an audience? Yes or
Yeah.
no? And if your answer is yes, then great, you're a performer. And it had to be live, right? So recording doesn't count, right? So we're not going to like fund films or anything, even though
Yeah.
obviously that is also performance. But we're a live performance organization. So as long as you're in person and you're either on stage or at least in sort of like in view, and you're doing something that an audience is watching you do, great, you're a performer. We're not going to necessarily give grants to people who've been doing it for 20 years. Because at this point, I feel like you should have your own kind of support system built in.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're new, great. We'll try to help you get off the ground.
Yeah. I mean, this area is just very supportive of artists, but sometimes that falls short when it comes to like money.
I think, yeah.
There's just so many people.
There's so many people, and so many people are trying to do so many different things. So I think as far as like federal government,
Oh yeah, no.
we're not even talking about
Who are they?
who are they.
We don't know them.
State by state government, I think New England does pretty well in the arts. But you could always use more help. You
For
know?
sure. And I mean, somebody even starting out and creating a new journey for themselves mid-life,
Yeah.
like you don't have to always go to school to have develop an art
Correct.
habit or hobby or career. It's just very hard.
So it's so tough.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, really the thing at the end of it was, if all that one person needed was just a little bit of a boost at the beginning,
Yeah.
and their career takes off, and you could be that little boost, that's great. And that's like a really
Yeah.
great feeling. Also, sometimes not everything has to be so important either. Right?
Yeah.
If you do an event and it goes really well and people had fun and you brought community together and it only happens once and you never do it again, that's great too, right?
Yeah.
Not everything has to be like the Worcester Dry Glass Festival that we sponsored. That did do really well. That was like a smash hit. Presumably they're going to do it again next year, right? And that's so cool and so great. It was the first year they did it. We sponsored a music fest in Vermont. It was all local bands, all original music, right? That event went super well. They're definitely going to do that one again. So that's great. Even if we just give someone money and they threw one event and it was just super fun and everyone had a great time and we never see it again, that's cool too. Like
Yeah.
we need little moments of like,
Yeah.
oh, that was super fun. Remember that?
Yeah. Some things can never be repeated. The magic
Right.
is just
Into
like
the
you were
into
either
the ether.
there or you weren't.
You were there, you weren't.
Yeah.
Yep.
And not everything has to be commodified either.
Correct.
It can just be an experience that you needed to get to the next idea, to the next evolution of your art. And, maybe that's performance art, maybe that's something else, but.
Or you know what? Maybe you did it and you didn't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine too. That's fine too.
Exactly.
Like everyone does that, right?
Yeah.
Everyone tries something and they just like, nah.
And there's not always, you don't even need a reason other than I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like how it made me feel. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's fine too.
I feel like people don't give themselves permission to not like something without an extra explanation.
Especially if people around you like it.
Yeah.
Like if you're surrounded by art friends and you're like, oh, I tried this art and I don't like it. They're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I do this all, like it gets my adrenaline pumping and it gets my creative juices flowing.
Yeah.
Like, that's great for you, but it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
And that's fine too.
Yeah. I mean, but if you don't try, you won't know.
But if you don't try, you don't know.
And so the biggest barrier to try anything is money.
It's always money. People need money. They can't get it. There is no money. Time is a big one because people are so busy like working
Yeah.
to get money. So again, we're back to money. Networking is also a huge one. If you don't know where to go, if you're like, I need a venue, how do I get a venue? I don't know anyone who runs a venue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what venues are good or bad. I don't have that like word of mouth of like, oh, you should go here and talk to so-and-so. And so another big part of our group is about the networking aspect of it. It's not just about raising money. It's not just about throwing events. Those are like the two big things that we do. But also if we give a grant to someone and they say like, oh, by the way, do you know like someone who does hair and makeup? Because we need someone to do our hair and makeup. And I'll say like, oh yeah, we worked with this person last year on this event.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know any personally, but I work with so-and-so. I'm sure they know someone. And then you just get all these people talking together. And once they've met once, they're connected. And you get this spider web of artists.
Yeah.
Where it's like anything you need, you're only 6 degrees of separation away from it. And when you get people who work together a lot, there's more of like it's not just about it. I think it becomes less commodified, in a strange way of like, yeah, you're paying me to like do the costuming for this event, but like maybe I'll give you a discount, or maybe I won't charge you as much, but then also in the future you'll do this for me.
Yeah.
And when you start to know people, you also like you start to build these relationships up. And then the community is building something, and it feels less like I'm running this event and I've hired these 4 people to work for me.
Yeah.
And to give me their product, right? And it feels more like the 5 of us are doing this event together, and I just happen to be paying them. But that's not like the cornerstone of it. Isn't like the money and the transactions. It's about, we're creating an event. Do you want to come do this event with us? Yeah, that sounds super fun.
Last time we talked, you talked about going to the circus school. Did you?
Yes.
Did you go?
No, November 3rd,
November
Monday.
3rd.
The woman who runs it, her name's Ellen. She's been super helpful. She's like, that's again another one of those networking things where it's like, we met her last year because she performed at the ball. I reached out to her because her school is near my house. And so I knew the school was there.
Is there like a big sign that says circus school?
I've never been. I don't know. I'll let you know on November 3rd.
Yeah, I'm just so curious. Because, I mean, obviously, people that do, I don't know what's involved. I need to look up their website. But, like, when you said
they
it,
do
I was
mostly like aerial and gymnastics stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn how to swing from the ceiling on a trapeze, they'll teach you. Or if you want to learn how to juggle, they got jugglers. If you want to learn, like, they have like balance. I don't know if this circus. So there's a bunch of different circus groups in Boston that I had no idea about. I knew about them because they were in my town.
Mm-hmm.
But then I found out there's like the Boston Circus Guild, which is just like anyone in Boston who works in the circus arts, they can try to join this group. There's another organization called Circus 617, which is the area code of Boston. And like they're another group where they're just a bunch of professional circus artists. And if you need them for your event, you can hire them. And so like that's what we've started doing. And so Ellen became sort of our liaison with the circus performers. So this year, like last year, she was just a performer, right? She did aerial silks, right? So you're hanging from the ceiling from silks. And then we were like, hey, Ellen, do you want to go do our event again this year? And she said, yeah, that'd be great. And then I said, we're looking for a couple other circus acts. Do you know any? Obviously she does, and then she's like, yeah, sure. And she's like, do you want me to reach out to them for you? And I was like, well, I can reach out if you want. She's like, no, I can do it. I know them. I'll just talk to them. And like, she basically just took that off our hands.
That's nice.
And she's just like running. So like all the circus performers who are coming to our event, like she's just handling that.
I want to know everything about this circus school.
I'm super excited. My friend and I are going. We're going to learn sling, which is kind of like the silks, but instead of there being 2 different silks, it's one that's like a U.
Yeah.
So there's like a loop at the bottom.
Yeah.
So
I need that.
Yeah. That's for beginners, right? Because you can stand on it.
Yeah.
Right? With the 2 silks, you're always like, you have to hold yourself up somehow, right? Whether it's wrapped around you or you've made a knot on your foot or you're like holding onto it. But with the sling, you can like put your shoulders in it, like you can lean into it, like
and fly.
Yeah. So super excited for
that. I went to Mexico last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to put this on the Instagram, but they had like zip lines or whatever, and I'm like, okay, no big deal. He's like, you can put the harness around like under your chest, so you're like, when you drop, you're like Superman. You put your arms out.
Oh yeah.
When I dropped, my body folded. So I just look like a dead body swinging.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
So that's my extent of
That's
circus.
your circus.
Yeah, that was
That's your
me.
trapeze.
Yeah. I literally look
swinging corpse.
And all of my friends have that sticker on their iPhones. Me like dead, hanging from
That's hilarious.
the zip line.
So we're gonna have you perform at the ball next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. The theme is
it's very
corpse.
interpretive. Yeah.
It's very interpretive.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The Revelry Ball came first before the nonprofit.
Yeah.
Now you're on your 2nd year of both, essentially.
Yep.
How has it grown throughout?
Great question. The nonprofit grew in the sense that we just had more money. Right?
Yeah.
So the first year we gave away 1 grant to Delta Miles in Provincetown.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second year we gave out 4 grants. Right. So that hinges on how successful the ball is.
Yeah.
Because that's where we get our
money.
money.
Get your tickets.
So get your tickets. Yeah, so however successful the ball is determines how many grants we can give out.
And who's all performing at the ball this year?
We just started this week to announce all of our performers. So this year we're doing something different where we're breaking up our variety show into 3 acts with dance breaks in between. So the first act is going to go on, then the DJ will play a set for a while. Second act, DJ, third act. Act 1, singers and dancers. We have a comedy singer. We have a drag trombonist.
Oh, cool.
Hilarious. We have someone who's going to do a ballroom number. And then we have another like operatic style singer. Act 2 is all burlesque partly because we gave the grant to the Draglasque Festival. So a lot of them applied to perform with us just from like word of mouth and because they knew that we supported the event. So we had so many burlesque performers apply that we couldn't take all of them, but we did take 4. Or we took 2 from them and then 2 others from outside. So we have 4 burlesque performers in the middle, and then the third act is all circus. So we have like aerialists, we have acrobats, we have a contortionist.
Whoa.
Super fun.
How do you get into that class? It's like, I'm super bendy.
I always wonder how late is too late to try to become like.
Yeah.
I'm like early 40s.
Yeah.
Can I?
I think I've aged out.
I think I've aged out, right?
Always rolling an ankle.
Yep.
The wind blows. Someone looks at me wrong, I'm rolling an ankle.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The ball is February 28th.
Yep.
2026.
Correct.
Tickets are on sale now.
Yep. We have 500 tickets. So tickets will always be up. The VIP tickets, however, the deluxe tickets, which come with like some bonus goodies, those will sell out. Like we sold out of those pretty early.
They're already gone.
No, sorry, last year.
Last
year we sold out pretty easily.
And so what do you get with the VIP package?
So this year you get to come an hour early, which I think is great. So doors open at 8 for standard tickets. They open at 7 for deluxe tickets. You get a free drink ticket. Who doesn't have that? Which is like a $12 value. This year, we didn't have this last year. We have hand fans, the big silk fans with our logo on it.
Oh, cool.
Like super custom this year only because it's themed. So it's like Emerald City themed. So this year only.
Oh, you
get a
should
free
do
hand
that
fan.
every year.
So it's like a memento.
A collection.
Exactly. Collectibles.
Yes.
And then you also get put on a private mailing list for a year where if we have special discounts on future events, you're also the first to know when the tickets go on sale for next year's event, stuff like that.
Now, you mentioned that there's like some seating.
Yeah.
So theoretically, if you do buy a VIP ticket, you can take over.
Maybe like couches along the outside and like maybe some like high top tables with little bar stools and stuff like that. But that's just sort of first come, first serve.
Yeah. So buy a ticket, get your seat.
Buy a ticket, get there early.
Do you need volunteers?
We do need volunteers. We're probably gonna need like maybe 6 volunteers total. And so it's a way for people to go to the ball for free, and they get to enjoy the ball at least for part of it.
I think people need a reminder, the power of volunteering and the fact that you do get into events for free when you volunteer. And, also just the act of volunteering is so rewarding in itself. And if people haven't done that lately, I definitely suggest.
Yeah, I love volunteering, and I think it's a great way. It's also a great way for us to, again, that thing where it's like we're trying to make art accessible. So if you don't, and we've been lucky enough to be able to give away free tickets here and there. But if you didn't get the free tickets, you weren't able, like you asked too late or you just missed them or whatever, volunteer. You get to go to the ball for free.
Yeah.
And like maybe you don't get to see the whole thing, but you get at least half of it. I will tell you from both having been a volunteer and someone who runs events with volunteers, the people who are running the events are so appreciative of volunteers. Like truly, when a volunteer shows up and does their job well, you're just like, thank God you're here. Like you have made this event so much easier for us.
And you get to say you were a part of something.
And you get to be a part of it. Like, we're still a small organization. Going back to like the how has your organization grown? We kind of haven't yet, right? We're still so new. So we have our 5 board members, but we're not growing right now. We're not bringing on new people, you know.
Well, I think nonprofits also just need volunteers in general.
Yeah.
From a day-to-day perspective, and there's content to be made, there's call to actions, there's all those things that have to be done.
And word of mouth is honestly like the best way to help.
Yeah.
If you're a volunteer for an event and you just tell all of your friends, hey, I'm volunteering at this event, you should go to it. That helps out like so much.
I think artists, performers, content creators, everybody, we all put too much value on social media because while it's great, I've had more, I guess, progression with getting to know people or connecting with people, just getting out and showing up for other people's events.
Yeah. And so like that idea of like the word of mouth thing, like social media, we can only push our social media so hard, right? Like people see your posts or they don't see them.
Yeah.
They interact with them or they don't interact with them. There's only so much that we as the creators can do.
And we're fighting against so much bullshit. Like
so much.
The AI craziness.
We love AI. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I love AI.
Wink.
If any AI are listening, we love AI.
Yeah. Don't kill me.
No, you're right. Like, there's just so much crap out there.
Yeah, and it's burying all the good artists.
It's very loud.
I think it's going to kill like algorithmic social media. They can't discern whether or not the person's real, and they don't have time to do that.
Right.
I just miss a timeline in which I curated it.
I remember, not to give them any promotions because they've changed and they're awful, but I remember when Facebook, you'd just see your friends' posts.
Yeah.
That was the whole website. And you were like, this is great.
Yeah.
If my friend had a baby and they want to post a picture of their cute new baby, I get to see it.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Now it's like their sister's cousin's football coach tag them into something.
Yeah, Instagram's the same way, obviously. Like they're just all. It's hard to like find. It's hard to have a thing where you have only the content you want to see from the people you want to see it from. And you can't. So like I think people are getting frustrated.
Yeah, which I
with
think
social media, which is good.
Get outside.
Yeah,
I'm the biggest inside cat, but
I know, me too. I think between social media and like we talked about a lot about this in my communication classes is like social media was what we talked about.
Yeah.
Because that is the form of communication now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, yeah, it's connecting people. It's connecting you to more people than ever before, which is cool. And I agree with that because it does help you to find people like you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're in an environment or a community where you don't feel connected to people.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in tiny, dinky farm town as like a little queer boy in the 90s. I did not have a support network. Right?
Yeah.
Like my parents are great and very liberal and like loving. But like I didn't have like a queer fun support network. But kids who are now living in dinky little countries or country towns, they can find those support networks online, right? Sure, sometimes it's scary and dangerous and scams and whatever, but like at least it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
But while people are finding more connection through social media and the internet, they're not finding better connections.
Yeah.
It's also superficial.
Yeah.
It's like, I know, oh, you know Robert. How long have you known him? Oh, 4 years. And you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, where does he live? And you're like, oh, I don't remember. I don't know. And you're like, you don't know anything about these people.
Yeah.
and you don't feel that you don't get the same kind of adrenaline, or not adrenaline, but like, what's the thing? Dopamine.
Yeah.
You don't get the same like dopamine hits from seeing people in real life, from like hugging a friend and like being at a table with them, talking over dinner. Like that's really important out. And like, that's so important. And so I think like, and I think people are hopefully getting sick of social media?
I think, well, I am, but
I am.
I'm also getting old.
I'm also getting old. Yeah. But I think people are getting sick of it because I don't think that it provides what it was promised
Yeah,
to
especially
provide.
not to artists.
No.
It's like ripping artists
And like
off.
and like performing artists. Like it's
Yeah.
cool to see photos from someone's performance. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're like, "Oh, I performed at this club last week. Here are my photos," or "Here's a short video." And that's really fun to see. But it's nowhere near as fun as sitting in that audience
Yeah.
and watching this
The whole
performance.
point of it was to keep in contact with people that you've known in real
that
life.
you already know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, I think it's about to, I think it's going to crash. I think that's why you see all of these influencers literally spending till they can't anymore because they know they're just, it's about to, the well's going to dry up.
Yeah. And I think in a weird, wacky way, the pandemic and the lockdown and stuff kind of like pushed that forward.
Yeah.
Because everyone, when you have to be stuck in your house and you have to communicate with everyone through the internet, once you don't have to do that anymore, you kind of want to see people.
Yeah.
Right. Like I remember as soon as stuff was getting better, I was seeing people way more often than I did before.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I haven't seen you in forever. We should go get dinner.
Yeah.
We should hang out.
I mean, there was such a time where we were locked into like overworking.
Oh, yeah.
The only social engagement is like getting shit faced maybe together and then going back into that overworking cycle and not really doing things that are meaningful and fun or having conversations that, you know, check on your friends necessarily.
Totally.
You might just be like having the good, how are you loop that everybody but like makes fun of Americans for. Like,
totally. And I think that idea of like wanting to get together with your friends again and wanting to like see people and see like live art and stuff really plays into, I think, why balls and similar events are becoming more popular.
yeah.
It's because I think people just really want to do stuff and to leave their house and have like a weird night. And also I think when political climates, like I'm not an expert by any means, but when political climates start to get really contentious and bad and scary, like you can, I'm really bad. I should be better, but I'm really bad at like reading the news and paying attention to what's going on because there's so much of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody thinks they're an expert too now, right? So you have to be able to, okay, is this person telling the truth? Let me go do the research, which obviously at some point you got to check on what in the fuck is happening, right?
Yeah, of course. Like you need to stay informed. And you need to know what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But like just waking up in the morning and reading the news first, like I can't do that. It drives me insane.
I kind of low key want to get go and get a physical paper.
Yeah.
Like the olden days.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And so I think for like some people, they just dive into politics and they dive into action and volunteering in that regard and like doing that kind of work, like protest work.
Yeah.
And that's all obviously super great.
Yes.
And I admire everyone who does that. That's not me. And so for me, I'm like, well, if I can create these sort of like escapes for people, because I think that's really important too.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to have that balance of like paying attention to what's going on in the world, you know, writing to your senators, going out and voting. Obviously, that stuff is indescribably important, right? But sometimes it's important to just go to a ball.
Yeah.
And like have fun for a night.
Yeah.
And it can seem frivolous and it can seem silly, but I think it's really important for mental health.
No, it is.
And for just like community building and for society in general.
How can we ever expect to get anywhere with these arguments if we don't even like hang out with each other?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
And I was reading this book about your brain on art and how consuming art literally it impacts your DNA or your neurotransmitters or something. But they said essentially like art and dancing and like being in community is such a tribal thing that we've always done throughout the
Right.
evolution of society, and we've kind of backed away from it.
Mhm.
And so it's really interesting. I didn't even think about it like that. Like, obviously, when you're going out and you're hunting and you're like a caveman, like somebody's drawing on the walls,
Right.
indigenous folks or
Right.
whatever.
I
Like,
mean, you look at every ancient culture,
yeah,
they all had art, they all had like architecture, they all had music,
song.
dance,
Yeah.
storytelling.
Yeah.
We've been doing that forever, right? We have not been staring at our tiny little screens
And they
forever.
didn't stop doing it just because the world got hard. If
Oh, yeah.
anything, it got more. They did more.
Well, art gets really kind of explosive when
Yeah.
the world gets shitty because people are like, I'm going to channel this into my art and I'm
Yeah.
going to make art that makes a difference.
Yeah.
And so I think you do get that sort of like, you get sort of two kinds of art in times like this. You get the fun, frivolous art, which doesn't mean anything and it's not supposed to. And that's the point, right? It's
Yeah.
not about politics. It's not about community. I mean, it is about community. It's not about like society or like social.
Sometimes you just want to cut up
issues.
and have fun and have a laugh.
And sometimes, and you should.
Yeah.
Right? And you should, and that's fine. And then there's the art
Yeah.
that goes full on
Mhm.
political. This is my statement.
Yeah.
I'm saying something with this.
Mm-hmm.
And both are super important.
Yeah.
And both are great. And I love both of them. I'm not good at the other one.
Yeah.
I'm not good at like political art.
Mm-hmm.
That's never been my forte.
Mm-hmm.
But I can do fun. I
Yeah.
can do frivolous. I can do silly. That's great. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And I think it's important.
I just love being a goofball.
Me too. Or I love it.
Same. Like, how many times have I tried not to bust out laughing when you said balls?
I know. And every time, see, here's the thing. Every time I said balls, I'd be like, you should say something different. But I can't because that's what it is. Like, people love balls.
I'm sitting here like sweating, like,
I
don't
know.
fucking do it, Molly.
I keep doing this, but I do the same thing when I'm saying it. Balls are becoming really popular. Everyone loves balls. People just want a good excuse to just go to a ball. And you're like, come on, say something else. But that's what it's
Never
called.
stop. Never stop.
I started calling it like a gala and stuff, but that feels
Oh,
that's not what it is. It's not a gala.
that's
It's a ball.
that's too uptight.
It's so uptight.
Yeah. Do you announce grant award recipients at the ball?
No, because
No.
we don't have any money yet.
That's
so
true.
the way
Yeah.
so we sort of
Yeah.
do like it's more like a retrospective.
Yeah.
So we're not giving people money at the event, but we will tell you about the money we did give out. And then as soon as the ball's over and we know how much money we have, we will announce on social media and through our newsletter. And we'll say grants are open. We'll open the application. We'll keep it up for like either a month or however long it takes for people to. We've already had people reach out to us and be like, "Are your grants open yet?" And we're like, "No, we don't have any money. We've given away all of our money." So I don't imagine it will be difficult to get applicants for next year because we've already had so many people reach out to us.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Was there anything else
Thank
you
you.
wanted to cover, or do you think we got it?
No,
Okay.
I feel like we covered a lot.
Yeah.
Just go to the
Okay.
website,
Yeah.
check it out, buy your tickets. If you want the deluxe experience, if you want that hand fan, it's really cute. Get your deluxe ticket,
VIP.
VIP.
Volunteer.
And if you can't afford, keep an eye on our social media. I know that we've been sort of dissing social media, but it is still a tool.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out on our social media. Where anytime we get free tickets, like last year we had a couple people who were like, "Oh, I bought tickets, but I can't go anymore. But I feel weird doing a refund because it's for charity."
Yeah.
So you can just give the tickets away to someone. And so we
Yeah.
just announce on social media, "Hey, we have 2 tickets. Send us a message." And then if you still can't afford it and there were no free tickets around, volunteer. We'd be happy to have you.
Yes.
And spread the word.
Tell your friends.
Tell all your friends. And watch the videos that we have on our social media. We have like clips from last year so you can kind of get an idea of what the event is like.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really important. And I think the videos that we've set up on the website really do give you the vibe
Yeah.
of what the event is. So I think that's important. So I think there are different types.
I mean, where else are you going to see circus performance and like singers, like all these in one
Yeah.
place?
It's a real variety show. Like that was the point.
Yeah.
So we want a variety of things. And it's going to be. and there's some weird ones, some funny ones. I've seen some of the acts already, and like,
Yeah.
they're funny and they're weird, and we love it.
Perfect. All right. I think we got it.
Great.
Yay. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Check the show notes for all the information regarding the Revelry Ball and the Audeville Society. Whether you want to apply for a grant or you want to volunteer your time, I'm sure they won't turn you away. As always, I appreciate you listening to the show, and I hope to see you at the ball. Bye.